So Christine, you'll work the heater if it comes
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't get so cold.
So while I remember, I think Joyce already put it on the website, but we're going to take a 2-week break for Christmas. So we'll have a nice, the 26th there will be no class, and then the 2nd there'll be no class, so we'll get some space there. Well, welcome everybody, brave ones, brave the storm to come. It means you must really want to be here. You must really want to reach the inner sanctum. You know, I was thinking, has anybody seen the movie, this is an old movie, but Sliding Doors?
Yeah.
Yeah? Sliding Doors? Gwyneth Paltrow?
Okay. No.
Maybe it won't apply there, but it's a movie where the whole movie is based on this moment where Gwyneth Paltrow is walking towards a door, and so the movie kind of branches off in two directions. One where she chooses to do one thing, and one where she chooses to do another thing. And, you know, of course, in one way, one direction, her life just goes downhill, and everything just is in ruin. Doesn't get anything she wants, keeps losing everything that she thinks she wants. And then the other way, she goes, one thing leads to the other, and then she's just this incredibly successful, you know, beautiful, lush, you know, her hair is perfect, and she's got the perfect man, and it's all good. And in the other one, you know, her hair's all ratty, and she doesn't look good. And you know, I was thinking about it because the premise of the whole movie is like entirely what's wrong with the way that we think, that we're bred to think, right? There should have been like a third door. There should have been a third door where she finds a teacher or something, right? And she goes into meditation, and then she makes this inner progress, and then, you know, and then maybe somehow at the end, all three of them meet or something at the end where she unifies, right? But it goes to show, like, to the world, what's important is, well, she succeeded or she failed. And but in either situation, she's no better off. She's still in the realm of suffering. Her mind isn't fixed yet. And that's the illusion that we live with, that you know, we can accumulate, and then somehow that's going to work out. And then most of us find out way too late. You know, we don't find out way too late, and all of a sudden we realize, you know, when we're getting close to what we think might be death or something, and maybe, I don't know, how many years left? Do I have 10 years left? Do I have 5 years left? And then maybe you start thinking, well, what was the use of all that I tried to accumulate? And I don't know, but I just thought that it's kind of a interesting way to look at what motivates what seems like, you know, the movers and shakers, you know, that hang success and failure over people's heads and say, you know, do this and do that, you know, behave this way and behave that way. You know, there's not a lot of media about following your heart, and, you know, there's not a lot of media about opening your heart. I think there's more now, though. There's more now, but softening, right? Softening. And if you've ever been around like the Dalai Lama or someone, there's an incredible softness there. Incredible softness that's on the inside It just exists there somehow. It's like it's the ground of their being, is this gentleness. Yet, he could fire it up any second that you need to. That's the thing, is one of the qualities of a holy teacher is wrath, out of love. There are stories about the Dalai Lama, he's completely reamed his monks out, this or that. But the public would not see that. It would be only the monks that would see that. And he has that ability, but out of love. Even though his entire belief system has been attacked, and his entire country has been attacked, and everything that he's based his whole religion on has been brutally assaulted, burned, peoples have been tortured, people close to him have been killed, and yet here's this holy, man who smiles and giggles and begs his people to forgive, right? Begs them not to be violent, because he knows what that leads to. So that's what we have to look forward to. That's what we have. That's what we have. It's not a quality that you don't have. It's not that he was deigned, or anyone is deigned with that quality. It's your most natural way, We all know that. That's why we're so moved when we see beauty, or see softness, or see someone against all odds being kind. Something happens inside of us where we're moved, because I think we recognize that we see the truth. We recognize the truth. And how can we access that place inside of us and begin to live from that place and have that state of mind be our ground being, be our default response to everything? Well, let's see if we can do it. Let's go into we'll do a meditation here. Begin by feeling the earth beneath you. Feel your connection. The feeling of being supported. Tuning into the present feeling of that sensation. Letting everything else fade into the background. And that feeling becomes your whole focus. help that along, visualize in your mind a stream of energy that goes from your waistline. You can imagine a ring of light like a belt. It circles around your waist and flows straight down through your body, through the floor of this building, through the basement, through the concrete at the bottom of the building, through the earth below the building, and it continues to flow through the earth until it actually roots into the molten core of the planet and grabs it. And this energy, you want to feel that in a flow state, not a static image, but a continuous flow of energy. And then start to visualize that all tension, all resistance just crumbles and begins to fall down this grounding like a mudslide. And it's a continual rain of anything that's preventing you from being completely at ease. And maybe you begin to feel yourself more light, and maybe even like a lighter type of presence. A presence maybe more of light and less of density. Shoulders are relaxed. Jaw is relaxed. Eyebrows are relaxed. Ears are relaxed. Forehead is relaxed. Now visualize a point far above you in the night sky. Pinpoint of light. Maybe you'd like to think of a star, maybe the North Star. But it should be directly above you. And then from that point, directly above you, up in the heavens, there's a beam of light that connects you to it. It comes straight down. And this comes right into your top of your head, like your crown chakra. And then goes right down through near the back of your body, right through the center of your spine. And then keeps on going right through your grounding flow and also connects to the earth. And then you feel your body resting between these 2 points as you're connected to the earth, to the heavens, a conduit of expression. By you being here, those two energies get to unite through you. Now feel at your navel area that there's this mixture of this energy, that's this heavenly energy, and then this earth energy that's mixing at your belly. And then that mixture travels back up, washing across your front body, so front body across the front of the neck and the face, and goes directly back up to that North Star point. And this is all moving energy. It's not still. As you sit awake amidst this flow, then at the area of the heart and also the area of the throat, the energy that is going upwards, some of that branches off and goes down and out your arms, and you feel it in your hand chakras, the palms, little wheels in the palms of your hands. At the soles of your feet, little wheels, spinning discs, chakras, energy flowing up from the earth into your feet and up your legs, and then meeting the earth energy and the you energy and the sky energy, and then flowing down again to the earth. In line with this beam that's coming down from the sky, that is hooked into your back body near the center, the central channel, near the base of your body, the seat, you could say in between your anus and your genitals, is a wheel, a disc, a spinning chakra. All you need to do is notice it with your mind's eye. Allow it to be whatever color that appears to you. And you may see nothing. It may simply be a feeling. But see it with flow, gentleness, ease. Further on up the line, about 2 finger widths below the navel, all towards the back, in line with the center line, in the back center, is another wheel. The second chakra, or Svadhisthana, if you want to talk in a different language. Another disc there. Energy wheel. Visualize it being as perfectly open as you need it to be right now. Our chakras are more and less open depending on what is required at the time. Allow it to be perfect and natural. Further on up the line at the navel, 3rd chakra. See it. Feel it. Manipura chakra. Take note, whatever color you may see it relaxed and open as it needs to be. Further on up the line, the heart chakra, anahat. All of these little wheels, energetic openings. The heart being the most key center. Having it being relaxed, open as it needs, as it suits the moment. Further up the line, Visuddhi chakra, the throat chakra. Just noticing. Same. Ease of flow here. Further up the line, third eye, Ajna. You can think of it as being in the center of your head. Further up the line, the crown. Sometimes called the chakra of great bliss. Also as open as required in this moment. Without feeling like it needs to be important or you need to see a certain one, just be awake and relaxed with the feeling and the visual, whatever is in your mind. Noticing how it feels to have taken the mind's focus to all these points. Then notice that you're surrounded by your own luminescent aura. The shape of a giant egg above your head. You can think of it as about arm's width away from your body. Above your head, sides, front, and below you. And this also has flow and connects in with that heaven energy and earth energy. And now, without getting tense, with your mind's eye, see everyone else in the room with that same energetic system. Just notice each individual's display of light. Everyone has their own way of shining. And in your mind, in your mind's eye and in your mind's thought, say hello to each person in the room. And have no doubt that you're communicating with each other. And you can think that out of respect, here's these beings that have lived, experienced countless things for countless lifetimes, and here we are together. Each with her own purpose. And if any one of us doesn't see ourselves as a perfect and holy and free being, awake and enlightened, there will come a day when you will. And that's what it's all been for. Everything's been for that. Every pain, every heartache, every conquest, every time you noticed you were being a jerk, every time you noticed you were being a beautiful, kind person, was all moving you towards being completely awake. Once again, turning more inward. If tension has arisen, focus more on the grounding, going down to the earth. So the feeling is of being awake, aware, yet always letting go. Always surrendering, always releasing, so that you can be fully present for whoever it is that's with you, including yourself. slowly open her eyes, see if you can still look through your eyes from the back, like the center of your head looking out, this being, and take in the room from that as if you're, oh, here I am in this amazing place around all these completely amazing people, beings, in fact. Genderless. We just so happen to have a certain body type that we do certain things with. But on the inside, there's no gender there. And take a peek around and say hi to everybody with your eyes. See if you can still see that. And just relax, loose. It's like playing peekaboo. I see you. And you can do this. This is a great thing to do. And then, at first you may feel very robotic about it. It may feel like you're trying to be stiff and you may be all weird, but then eventually you can relax into it. It's a great practice. It's a great practice if you can, as much as possible during the day, just try to see people not as people. See them as beings. See them as these eternal, awesome things that are here. And that will take you right out of the ordinary. And if you do that, then your regular day can be like you're, playing in this galaxy of wonders. It's all perception. It's all a matter of perception. Even crunching numbers, right, Sharon? Yeah. Playing soccer. Pele, yeah. Anybody watched that yet for homework? Pele movie?
Yeah, that's one loved it.
Yeah, yes. Did you watch it?
No, just
No. Yeah, wasn't there the father in there? Wasn't he amazing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, such emotion. Well, you guys will have to catch up on that. Yeah, well, it's there. So Sylvia was talking earlier in class, and like shake it out or anything you might want to. Sylvia was mentioning something before everybody was here, and I was asking her if she would like to share it. And so you were saying that something happened.
Well, I had an experience in the meditation that I could, in other words, I would put to it now is I think that something opened.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the Monday night. By Tuesday, I had a pretty bad sore throat. And Wednesday and Thursday, it was just like on this huge roller coaster. Had not a number of things that happened over the past few months that I had not allowed myself to really open up to. So some grief and some sadness and a relationship that's ended, and I'm not quite sure why. So leaving with that kind of feeling of incompletion, and so all of these emotions and feelings and just were spilling.
Wow.
Yeah, just really spilling. And the people that were around me, one person in particular had said to me, because it was an unusual experience for me to be sharing with this particular person, and one of the comments that he made, which is what you're relating to now, is that what he appreciated about me was my willingness to be seen in that space of just whatever that is, that beauty and the rawness of who we are as human beings. So that made me cry even more because it was speaking to that truth of who we are. And so it's taken me until today to feel, and never actually, sorry, I'm gonna back up a little bit, I've never felt ungrounded, just
That's good.
on the
Just,
roller coaster of the emotion and being able to be present to whatever it was that I was supposed to be doing throughout the week, but with this feeling of being with whatever emotions were there. And so there was music, and there were some really great people around me, and so like I attracted all of this support at the same time. And so yeah, it was a really powerful week. But the meditation piece that really, because there were a couple of things that you said that just, I can't remember them right in this moment now, but that had, the focus. Yeah, so I was able to practice those things, and knowing that I was potentially opened as a result of the meditation from the chakra one in particular, I was able to remember to do meditations in the morning, at least 10 minutes. A couple of mornings to keep myself, to focus, because that was the piece that was so powerful for me. It's like, that's the purpose of the meditation. So that I remember to stay focused in the moment, and have had throughout that emotional time, was able to be that through some very spectacular emotional responses.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was eager to get here tonight. It was like, if it had been snowing, whatever. So I was really,
If it had been snowing vampires.
here.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, yeah. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that.
It's a beautiful space, and allowed me to see newly, which is what I've been intending.
Yeah, the power of the mind's focus is especially like you said, it's been withholding or not, or holding things back and not feeling things and putting things off, and then can no longer, but maybe it was. Maybe it was exactly right, What's that?
I had withheld deliberately.
Yeah,
because
and
there
it
were
was
things that I needed to stay
yeah.
focused on, and so it was time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, it was just time.
Nice. Well, that's great. Anybody else want to share anything that they've been experiencing, or that they would equate to their meditation practice?
Yeah, maybe not as I don't know if it's something positive or more like frustration. I think I've been I feel like I'm hitting like a brick wall.
Oh, good.
And I don't feel like I'm making any progress, no matter like how much time I spend or like lately, say maybe the last and also maybe it's too early, but I guess I've been meditating regularly for about a couple of months.
Every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my mom was here last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There were, I think, 5 days or something that I didn't.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like ever since I came back from the Philippines, it was every day. Like I didn't miss a single day.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, I've been, having more than like several sessions. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's too early, but I don't know if I'm really making any progress.
Okay, well, let's hold that
Mm.
until after break.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. Cause I'm guessing that probably many people feel that way at least 10 or 20 times. Like, you know, you hit these, anyways. So we'll have a little break, and the beginning of our break will be Joyce's birthday tomorrow.
What?
So we gotta sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joyce. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Woo!
Wow, thank you.
Bliss balls.
12 bliss balls.
Surprising.
What better way to celebrate birthday?
And 10 candle home.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beeswax.
So let's have a little break. Maybe Joyce will share some of her bliss balls. Maybe she'll
No.
keep them to herself.
Come on,
You
top
know
of her
that was
bliss
like,
chart.
yeah.
Thank you.
This room is cold.
I know, like just for this little guy.
Just like a little
Also,
bit
my
cold.
phone
No.
is very Thank you. I think I need to get a bigger heater that's not so loud or something.
Is it
Radiator.
because-
A radiator? Thank you.
Is the thermostat turned off after work hours?
I don't know, it's because we've got, the air conditioning is all messed up so that always this part of the building is cold or hot and the
You
other
need one of
part.
those ones that stand up,
Okay,
that's oil,
yeah,
totally silent.
okay, that's what we'll get. We can like buy one.
Oh.
Oh, these are really good. Did you make these?
They're really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sweet sherbet?
No, we got it from Famous Foods. Yeah.
They're like the same place. I know.
I
Are
can
they?
pick one up.
Oh, really?
Just, yeah,
Okay.
you just put it on the same,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Thank
been,
you.
I've been cooking a lot.
Have you?
lately. Yeah, and I'm gonna say so myself. I think I'm pretty good at the savory stuff, but I want to like start to learn how to make some of the sweeter stuff. But,
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to expand my knowledge. Of
There's some amazing like recipes for like bliss balls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just hit big in Google and you can find it all. It's amazing what's on there. Just need
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's like,
Just
what's
look online.
Oh, yeah.
Anything, right? I just found this recipe for flatbread. Amazing crackers. It's just all nuts and spelt flour and just yummy for dips and stuff. Yeah. It's fun.
So what's your plans for your birthday? I'm gonna tutor Mila, and then probably hang out with Marcia and Yasmin. Pretty
Nice.
mellow.
Nice. And this birthday. Nothing much. How old are you going to turn?
32.
Oh, good. Good. I was waiting to see that there.
Nice.
A lot of years.
That's old. What's going on, Joyce?
Nothing. Thank you. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
how's the new place?
It's working out good. Yeah, it's rent's good, price, and can play. He's there without worrying about it bothering anybody. That's the most important. You don't have anybody. It's not an apartment.
It is an apartment.
No,
it's not an apartment.
It's like a weird little coach house thing. It's not really a coach house. It's this little building that someone built beside their house.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not in a lane or anything like that, and it's very small. Yeah, very small. Grand piano just like dwarfs the place.
Yeah. How you like getting used to it, or is that difficult?
It's a little small for me, but getting used to it. Yeah, and plus there's a shed there where I can put all my tools. So it's taken me a bit of time to get used to that little amount of space, but I just chalk it up for the functionality of what I want, or we want, which was to not pay a lot of rent, so spend more time doing other things than working, and play whenever we wanted. So really important, because it was either we were going to have to rent a space to do that, and then we'd be traveling to that space. So yeah, we leased it for a year, and I don't know, continue. Yeah. But it's good, and the neighborhood's good. It's quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
So is this like somebody mentioned North Van? Is it North Van?
No, it's Burnaby.
Burnaby. Okay.
It's right just into Burnaby, so it's like Kingsway and Boundary.
Okay.
You know that big Telus Boot building?
Yeah.
It's like right back behind in there, across from Central Park.
Okay.
One day you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should. Yeah. It's kind of difficult, like out in Langley, trying to sort of just kind of keep everything together, and then also like come out here a lot. So I'm trying. I think eventually, I don't think I'm gonna stay there much
No.
longer. I think I will probably come back to
You'll move
Vancouver
back in? Yeah.
next year, probably summer or something like that.
But right now it's working out.
It's working out
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. So I guess we haven't like caught up in a while, but
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna be like my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend.
You do have a girlfriend?
Yeah, and so she's moving in with me in January.
Oh,
so-
serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think after that, like I don't know how long we'll want to stay in Langley. I think just like for me it makes sense because I've got like my work there.
Yeah.
But I think she works at UB. I think you met her before she came to one of the classes. Her name is Amber. I don't know if you recall. She came to like 2 classes.
Oh
once.
yeah. Wow.
But so yeah, we were friends for a while, and things kind of escalated. But this makes it sound like a crisis. But yeah, no, we're. So she goes to the BC, and so she's a PhD student, so she doesn't really need to be there. She works from home, but I think in general, like, it's probably like better if we like kind of close her in that end. And I eventually want to go back there too, because I think it was good for the work that I'm doing. And as long as I'm working here, I'll be like staying there and so working out. But I don't know how long I'm gonna continue at this company, so I might want to make pop up into something else.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Things are going well in that. Perfect.
Yeah, things are well. I kind of overlooked the fact that it's like joining somebody else's house. So so there's not been any issues or great landlords, and never been any kind of run-ins or anything like that. But there's just like something about like not having that anonymity. They always know when I'm home, when I'm not, because my car gets there.
Yeah, so there's
that sort of thing, and like,
Yeah.
and they were like really friendly. I mean, they were trying to play like friendly neighbor for several months after I moved in. Like, but like I get a text from them every weekend, and like, hey, what do you do? Like, we're doing this, which is great, And a few times like I hung out with them and stuff like that. But
sometimes you just go down there,
like,
just live.
and then there's the you don't want to be impolite as well. But I think now because it's winter, I think because it was summer, like it was that sort of what do you call it? just there was just that sort of air where people are like kind of more friendly and like all of that stuff. But now in the winter, I'm like working in a couple of months, but they're downstairs, so everybody's inside. You're not really outside that much and stuff. But still, I think, and especially after Amber moves in, like she's got a dog too, and yeah, I think I don't know if I'd want to be living in a house that's joined to somebody else.
Yeah, I've done that a few times where like the landlords were above and end up you kind of become friends, and then sometimes you're hoping they're not out in front when you go to your car.
Yeah.
You didn't want to just go with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially have a long day at work, it's like you gotta stop and chat and like all
Yeah,
that
you
stuff.
just want to get in the house and keep your shoes off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Well, you know, it's too. If you ever want, I know you're old Langley, but if you ever want to meet, just let me know.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I
you
do.
want to talk about it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I think like, I've been thinking about that. It's just like
Well, yeah. It's not like you're in Vancouver.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't mind like I don't know like you're like if I wouldn't mind just like hanging out for like if every time you're free instead of like making it like a
You mean like have a lunch
specific
or a
session.
dinner or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because then that
Yeah.
way it kind of
Yeah.
it's not like I'm going to
an
Langley for
appointment?
like this appointment for 2
Yeah.
hours and
Yeah.
then I'll drive all the way back sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll
Makes more sense.
Yeah. Keep in touch.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess I better ring this bell. It's nice sometimes when a group is small. Different vibe. A little more private.
Can I say that I've been having lots of anger lately?
Sure, you can say that.
Lots of stuff
Yeah.
coming up.
And you've also been meditating regularly. Yeah.
And yeah, I was just telling Christine, and it's just there. So
Yeah.
we talked about doing a meditation of just taking on everybody's anger and
Tonglen.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's very
You can also,
prevalent.
there's things you can do,
But,
like,
yeah, it's
depending on what your capacity is in that moment, like at any given moment, would be kind of how you would decide what method you would use, you know? Like, if you're just feeling in the throes of anger and it's just taking you over, that can be good, you know, where you decide, okay, you know, to hell with it. You know, I'm just pissed. I'm just going to continue to feel pissed, and I'm going to take it on for everybody, you know? And so that nobody else has to, like that. You know, and then, but what is good to do if you're doing that is use your breath. You know how to do that with your breath? So it's a great technique. So you sit there, or even if you're driving or whatever it is, you're walking through the neighborhood, you inhale like a ravenous beast, all anger. You're like, every inhale, you're like, drawing it in. I take all the anger. Give it to me now. You know, you're like, and then when you exhale like the opposite.
yeah.
You exhale, everybody is just, they don't have any anger, and then you exhale, you know, love, happiness, relaxation, contentment, you know, things like that.
Didn't we do that with Lama Vaughn on Clarendon? Is that Tonglen? You
That-
do
that's a
black
Tonglen.
smoke and then
Yeah, that's a Tonglen thing.
breathe out.
Yeah, it's a great meditation, actually, the Tonglen. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
We'll do it today, but maybe next
Yeah.
class we could like do an official Tonglen. It's a great meditation. But like that, so the official Tonglen thing that you would do with all your central channel and the whole visualization, you know, gets you to the point of focus where you can do that. But you can just do that, right? It's like with as little elaboration as possible, in a way. You just do it, you know. And you can do it for a week or a day, you know. And then there's that's a great thing to do. And then your anger is useful in that time. You're like taking something that has you by the throat, and you're jujitsuing the bloody thing. You're using its own weight against itself, and eventually it will run out. The anger itself will run out, and the beautiful part of that is the stories, the stories that are associated with the anger that keep us in the anger will dissipate. Because that's what happens, right? The stories start to spin. And because the thing about anger and jealousy and all those emotions is that we have them or we don't. That's the wild thing. We are a being in a certain evolutionary process, and at a certain evolutionary place in our existence, we have anger. And we're full of anger for whatever reason. And it's there to be dealt with. So if that anger is there, an uneducated person who is buying into the illusion of the world that anger will overlay its story on everything, and there will be a million things to blame. You know, it won't matter. Someone will say something and you'll just, we'll just twist it into like the next reason to be pissed off, because the anger is there. In the same way that if we're a being that's come closer to all joy, then that's the thing instead of anger. Everything everyone says to it's just like one more reason to be joyful. And we've all been around both of those kinds of people. Right? Some people, that's everything they hear is like instantly there's a no, and the reason why not, and and then someone else is like, oh great, yeah great, that's great, and it leads to just more. So that's like, and the other way that is harder, but in a way is more powerful and quicker to deal with it, and that is not doing any of that, but actually sitting and completely feeling this anger, and just in the same way that when we start our meditations and we say go to the feeling of the earth alone, the feeling of the body meeting the earth, you choose the feeling of anger. And you don't worry about what the story is. You allow the stories to come if they're going to arise. But you're developing that ability to have the anger as your object. So you're like this and you feel it. And then you're just, what is that feeling? Is that really anger? Why am I calling it anger? It's a feeling. It's a pranic movement. It's a wind in my body that's rushing through my body that I'm right now calling a negative thing. But it's happening. It's happening in real time. And so the part of the mind that judges that anger as something that is wrong with me and is a problem is the part of the mind that's suffering. That is suffering. You can have that experience of anger and not suffer. You can have a feeling, and it can be really rough, like a rocky ride, and you sit there and you just feel it, and all the reasons why you're angry and the blame you may want to be throwing, and who knows. that's beside the point. The point is the very poignant feeling of anger, and then you just look at it. And you hold the line. You hold the line. So it's like you're holding on to your deepest, quietest point that you've reached in meditation. And then hopefully what will happen is the anger will begin to look like a cloud in your sky. And you'll see that it's just like an apparition and that it's come to haunt you for a time. And it must, by its very nature, leave. It must. It cannot hang around. And your focus is all your power there. You know, so you can quickly, you know, you want to talk karma, purify in real time by simply going, okay, I'm not going to try not to feel this. I'm going to, you know, feel it. So what you're doing essentially is you're contemplating, you're using it like an emptiness meditation. Like, what is the nature of this feeling? Why am I calling it anger? What is it about this feeling that is anger? Is it really anger? You may find out that it's bliss. You may find out that it's a rush of bliss that your mind is calling anger. It could be anything. But what you're looking for in that meditation are the labels that arise in your mind about the feeling. And you just watch them and let them go. Because there'll be lots of them, you see. You watch them and you let you go, you watch them and let you go, until you realize there's nothing about this feeling that has any self-nature of being what I think it is. Because if it was, it wouldn't change. It could never change. And you would always be this angry Marge. Right? It could never be, couldn't be a changing thing. Right? So that's when you bring the focus, you're developing focus as you've been developing meditation to bear on an emotion. Like that. So like both of those things are great. Yeah? It takes courage. Yeah, you gotta sort of bear down. That's what happens in retreat. If you do like a retreat, if your retreat's going well, you're going to get hit by a demon. A demon will come calling. And it will be your own mind coming to give you a proper thrashing. And you know, you same thing, you bear your focus down. And, so it's good. So that your meditation practice is going very well. If you're
I think that's when you were saying about just going with the suffering, like just not sitting down and dealing with it or just putting it off, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what I've been doing, so I just get busy, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
then-
Oh God,
so-
we do that.
Yeah,
Sure,
so
there's
that's
lots of ways to
makes
avoid
total
suffering.
sense.
I like help putting things off so that I can focus on being busy.
Sorry?
Like as opposed to what?
You like what? Say that
Like
again?
I'd like a little bit more help putting things aside to deal with them later, because that's actually not a natural ability of mine.
Uh-huh. Okay, well first of all, we gotta get back to Sharon.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's okay. I mean, we can go whatever. It doesn't matter. We can answer your question.
we can go both ways.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's go over to Joyce now. So we'll get back to Sharon because we're kind of on the same. We're in relation. So can you be?
So
more
we
specific?
mentioned something similar too, like if something comes up and it's distressing, but like that, like this ability to put it aside to like deal with it later.
Mhm.
That's not like a forte of mine.
Oh, I see
So
what
I
you
get
mean.
distracted from
Yeah.
what I'd like to be focusing on. Like processing emotion, great. Like
Yeah.
I'm totally down with doing that whenever.
Yeah.
But putting it aside so that I can work, that's not.
Okay,
that's a
so
little harder.
okay, so you're saying say you're doing your UBC stuff.
Mhm.
You have a bunch of work you need to do.
Mhm.
It's ahead of you. You're bearing down on it, and all of a sudden, a mental storm comes,
Mhm.
and you're saying, how can I put that on pause and continue to do the work I need to do? Mhm. That's a very good question. What's that?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because I was like you, I'm good at processing and I need to deal with it now
Mhm.
in the moment. And I was exactly the same. I was doing a master's program. I had surgery, relationship broke up, all kinds of stuff happened. It was like, I can't deal with that. There's no way to process that. I need to finish my master's.
Mhm.
And so, not sure how I did that, but I felt the muscle that develops
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to build that muscle.
in saying, not right now, this. That's why it took, well, I've been finished, I guess, a couple of months, and so it's just been slowly coming to the surface. But it was out of need and desperation.
Mhm.
that
Necessity
I
was the mother of
developed
the
it.
muscle.
Yeah. But now I have it.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, and what that kind of calls to mind that I want to say at first is that's kind of an example of choosing an object, you know? So if in your meditation practice, you know, if we haven't gained that ability to hold an object of our choosing for very long, then in life it will be hard to do that. So you could try thinking of it like that. Like I'm going to choose my object. I'm going to choose, just like it's my breath, this work. And watch what your mind does and how hard it is for your mind to do that. And treat it like a good breath meditation where one cycle of breath is one entire meditation. So it's not like, oh my God, I have 3 hours, at least 3 hours. You know, how am I going to face that? You know, that's like saying, oh my God, you know, I've got 40 breaths that I need to be present for. Instead of saying, oh, I only have one breath I need to be present for, and that's the one that's happening right now. And then on my next breath, I will reapply my presence. So if you can think of your task like that, as in not looking at it like a big thing, but looking at it as many small things. And so you come in and say, okay, I'm going to choose to focus on this, and then when you feel the distraction come, just like the breath, you stop the work, let go of the distraction, relax, and return to the work. So like a breath meditation, you just continue the work until eventually that muscle builds where you don't have to, you can just focus and then keep it at bay. But you may have to deal with the thing that's bothering you, because there's that truth as well. Like if there's something that's pressing, you may have to talk to somebody about it, or you may have to just get it off your chest. That might take 15 minutes, which would then free you up to work unimpeded for 3 hours. But that's the first thing I want to say, is like, look at it like that. That makes sense? Yeah. And another thing that you could try, I don't know if anything like music helps, like if you put a certain kind of music on, you know, while you're working, whether that would, you know, help set a tone, or anything that would help you, you know. Sometimes this can work if you have the space, is do a few sun salutations or something. Like if there's You just hop off your desk and just like do 5 minutes of intense yoga, just to get your winds moving, get your body, like shake it up with your body, and then just try it again. But yeah, it'll take some time, especially if there's a lot that's comes.
It also feels like a bit of a motivational issue, because I'm very like, you know, like meditation, it's kind of obvious why you do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That, yeah, the benefits of that are kind of like an obvious goal, and sometimes the master's program is a little bit more further from,
Uh-huh.
you know, what my heart is called to. So.
Yeah. Right. Which of course, it's always harder to do something that when there's something that you'd rather be doing and can do it. But then, you know, I guess you have to decide, you know, do you want to finish the master's program or don't you? You know? And then if you do, maybe try and think of why you'd like to finish it. And maybe that will help. You could also do like Leonardo does, and make a puzzle map thing she does. You ever seen that thing she does? It's pretty cool. She'll take she does this when she wants to get her ACIs done. She'll take a beautiful picture, say, it could be anything, and then she'll decide how many little goals that represent, like, say, an ACI course. It's a Buddhism course. Say there's like 20 sections, like 10 homeworks, 10 quizzes, and 1 final. So it'll be like, so she'll cut it into 21 pieces, and then have the grid there, and put the pieces away. And every time she does one homework, she gets the picture and puts one on. Right? And so she sees the picture come to life. And then when she's done, it's like, wow. And then she doesn't let herself put a picture on until she's done her homework. So you might make something like that, where you think, okay, my master's degree equals, and then all these things I need to do, and then you fill in that might help. We like to get our little stars, right? Yeah. So, Sharon. So you feel, now, when you say you feel stuck, you feel you're hitting a wall. Why do you feel you're hitting a wall? What's happening? What that makes you feel that?
Like, I don't see any improvement in my concentration or my focus. Maybe there was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was one night where I did see that, but it was just once, and then I haven't seen that ever since. And there's just too much. So I saw an analogy that kind of in a book that actually described it pretty well. It's kind of like when you're tuning to a radio station, you can sort of hear what's going on, and then the static, but you can't really. So you can hear, you know what, you can recognize what song it is, but there's too much static. It's just been at that, like, my concentration on the object has kind of been like that, like, for as long as I've been, like, meditating, and it hasn't gotten better.
Okay.
There was just one day where I think it was clearer, but
you had yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you're not losing the object.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're holding the object for a long period of time.
It's hard to. It's
hard to say?
Yeah, it's hard to say, because I think it gets like. It's like I remember when I remember the object. Just when I remember it is when I start to question, oh, did I lose it completely? And
Okay.
then I don't know the answer to that, like if I did or not. But
Okay.
because it's almost like subconsciously, like my, the receptors on the tip of my nose or whatever have been trained to just kind of,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like it might be helpful. So has this been like a breath awareness meditation?
Most of the time,
All the
that's
time?
what I do. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should switch up the object for a bit. I think you need a new object.
Okay.
Yeah. Do a different kind of meditation for a little bit. I think you're getting bored.
Yeah, maybe that's.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause they say, 6 weeks, then we just switch, depending. But I would say you probably use a break from that specific type of meditation for a bit, and then you may notice a renewed vigor when you return to that breath. And there is also a matter of fact thing. It does take time, but if you're stalling out like that and you've been stalling out that for a while, I definitely be changing up the object if you're doing something different. We can talk about that. We don't have time right now to talk about the object that you should use and the specific type of meditation that you should do. But let's talk about it. We've got reams of possibilities that we can talk about. But yeah. Yeah, it'd be a shame to just like get bored and just like be bored with your meditation to the point where you stop or something because you just,
Yeah,
reach
well,
a
like,
point.
that's why, like, I think a few weeks ago I asked the question where people
Yeah.
like meditate for 10 years and never made any progress or whatever like that. So I was just worried. I'm like, come on, come like that.
But what about your regular everyday life though? Have you noticed a difference in your ability to be present and your, how you are and like what you relate to as your refuge, like what you're putting your hopes and fears in? Have you noticed a difference in that over the last like couple of years?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. You see, that's
Definitely.
really where the money is. So then so that's like you're happening in that way. So now let's just get a different object for a while so that you can like give that concentration an injection. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So let's we got a bit of time left. We'll finish off with a little meditation. Does anyone mind staying till just another 10 minutes? A little bit past the time? Everybody's good? Okay. So let's begin right now. Since we're already here and we've already done quite a long meditation, tune back into that quietness, the depth that we had reached, by focusing on the center of your head. So like your center point of focus, as if you were in the center of your head, looking out with this 360-degree awareness, with your eyes closed or open. that focal point start to draw it back towards the back of your head, as if you were slipping back, and then dropping it down until that focal point then resides in the heart area. Visualize near the back body in the central channel a disc sitting on its side of moonlight. Your mind's focus rests softly here. As you remain focused at the area of the heart, tuning more and more into this full moon glow. It's a disc, but it's a full moon glow. And as you continue to focus, what begins to happen is the mental image in your mind of your body gives way, and what you're looking at is the reflection of the moon in a great body of still water at night. And you are the reflection of a full moon, resting perfectly on a body of completely still water at night. And in this water, I should say on this water, is the reflection of countless stars, a galaxy in all directions. There's a billion tiny reflections of starlight in this vast body of dark water. And you are this reflection of this moon glow in the center. All is calm. You begin to hear a sound. feel the entire cosmos. Inhale. And exhale. And somewhere in the distance, you begin to hear a sound. Someone is making music. bow down in humble gratitude. Absence. Bow to the absence that makes all fullness possible. And bow to the absence that can make any sound appear to be a divine orchestra. Any sound. And as you breathe, all the universe breathes. All is at rest. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. Now somehow we need to stand up and clean up, do life. But you can, you don't have to do it without that silence. You don't have to do it without that music. You don't have to do it without that. You're part of everything. So thank you, everybody. You already bowed down to the absence, so we don't need to finish with any demonstrations. Unless you want to. Okay, all right, no, it's okay, I'll do it. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. It was stormy. We had a beautiful little class there.
Yeah, that's great.
And thank you for sharing your story, Sylvia, and everybody else. It's nice to have each other join like that.
It's just one file?